yeah, from there, man, I used to make money at school by freestyling in the library and rapping about books and stuff. I never used to get a lot of pocket money, so I earned my way and my keep by freestyling. And then yeah, really, I just kept rhyming, but I always used to just be a freestyler. I never used to write. And then as a young man, as sometimes you do or don't, I started getting myself in trouble, and I ended up in prison a couple of times. And while I was in there, I decided one time, listen, man, go to the library and go and educate yourself. And as I was educating myself, I'd say these were the times now, with up to like when Busta Rhymes and Wu-Tang was really smashing it, man. And I just got this vibe, and I said, man, you've got to stop this just freestyling. You've got to learn how to compose lyrics. Started to compose my lyrics, and then when I got out, I met DJ Napper. I used to be in a crew called PIE, which is Posse in Effect. We won Great Britain's something or the other anyway, man, in this battle. And then from I come out, I started working with Napper and Posse in Effect. And then I ended up back in prison. And I remember Napper saying to me, listen, you're a very talented brother. You're wasting your life. You can really do this. And when I got out for the last time, I met him and MCM, went on to Kiss FM, done some stuff there. And Max and Dave was really feeling my stuff. And it gave me this confidence like, yo, I can do this shit, man. And then from there, man, we just used to make tapes every week. You know what I'm saying? And then I got somebody who played some stuff to Skits on the phone one time.
Right.
And Skits was like, yeah, I'd like to meet this guy. And then I got Philly and we both went up there. That's how we done the Fingerprints of the Gods, which was our first kind of real release apart from a white label. And it kind of took off from there, where we was contacted by Vadim and the creators. And then we done Millennium Metaphors and kind of just took off from there, man. And I've been doing it ever since, man.
Wow.
Yeah, this Fingerprints of the Gods vinyl here is actually the first vinyl that I bought.
Okay.
With my brothers.
Yeah, man. I was really proud when that come out, man.
Yeah.
I was, man. That was bliss. And it was nice for someone from London to believe in someone that, you know, people from London sometimes say country and that, but to believe in a man and say, yo, come and do your shit.
Yeah.
It was blessed, man. So
cool. So we're going to jump into this track, man. Fingerprints of the Gods.
Yep.
Here's how it goes. The God. Here's how it goes. The God. Here's how it goes. The God. Here's how it goes. Here's how it goes.
Pen to the paper, I scream at the world. Picky-headed you don't wear no jerry curl in the heat of the summer. More time I trim, but nothing don't change. I'm picky from within. The R's for the rage, E for the energy, B for the free fall bounce that we count. Second E for the era of a young-hearted youth. L presents long-term, so just stand firm. Foundation flexing, stretching out the pound. I used to want the queen's head, now I want the crown. It's in my bloodstream. Shit's too hard to define. Why? Some get the vision and the rest hold the line. Sleepwalking, plugging a horse that's done dead. Pissing in the wind, now piss strips down your leg. Is you plumb or is you pleb? Dude, it's one in the same. One shit short, now flush that P-brain. Put your hand on your lips, spell D-E-R. You wanna be fart facing me, can't spy like the duper I am. I don't wanna cause friction. I hold my space and then I listen with the diction. Enough of them will fear this. It's right now that they don't wish to hear this. Except for forensic, but they can't get near this. It's Fingerprints of God. J-Ho dead.
and philosophical. My rap style's colossal to your brain like a line of cocaine straight up your nostril. Knowledge like Aristotle. I send my message through the mic, not in a bottle. A gifted mic disciple like an apostle. Hip hop's my life and hustle. Lyric skills be my muscle. They be brand new like the heavies, not old like some fossils. I meditate on Bible scriptures, not porno pictures. I smoke sensi buds, green like the trees of eucalyptus. Buffalo soldier from a Rasta man army. I need hip hop to satisfy my soul like Bob Marley. Wisdom's what I give them, flipping knowledge on the rhythm. If you're talking like a devil, I'm performing exorcism. I cause malice. Smoke a chalice in Buckingham Palace. Get the queen high. Send her to Wonderland like Alice. Cause I'm a dark stranger, not from a dirty sick chamber. Cause a star burns above my head like Jesus from a manger. Lone Ranger, I don't need a posse to follow. My back will be my sword, I use it swift like Zorro. Guided by a force, similar to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Walk the skies like Luke and even Chewbacca couldn't hold me. If you're a phony, it's lights out like James Toney. And I'm confident like Nazim Hamid. True, you don't know me. I walk in the shadows, I make you paro. My mind be narrow, I carry guns and laser bow and arrows.
Yeah, so that was Fingerprints of the Gods.
What a legendary track.
Legendary track,
Yeah,
man.
big up DJ Skits each and every time for that, man.
Yeah, wicked. So one thing I wanted to ask you, man, what was the origin of your rap name, Life?
Well, everything seems to originate back to when I was younger and going to prison. But there was another guy in prison called Long Life, and he used to look like me. And a lot of people used to call me Long Life. And I say, no, I'm not Long Life. So when I got out, I tell my friends.
Yeah.
They started calling me Long Life. And I said, nah, that's someone else's name. And at the time, it used to be a can of lager was called Long Life. And I was like, man. And I used to be called Zoid MC.
Wow.
And I was like, man, that's from back in the day of the Zoids and the Transformers and stuff. And then over the years, people just ended up calling me Life all the time. So when I MC'd, I just thought, I don't think Zoid MC is what I really want to be as an MC. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be Life MC. That's how my name basically originated. Kind of crazy, but that's how it come about.
Yeah.
God. So what was the origin of the your group Phi-Life Cypher? Where did that came from?
Well, the name Phi-Life Cypher, basically Philly made the name. I was working with Napper at the time, and I had a song called Massacre in Africa, which was on the Shining beat. And we was just about to get that and put it out. Philly must have come up to me in a nightclub, spat some lyrics to me. It was funny about bacon and pork, actually. But it was really, and I was like, you're dope, you can rhyme. He said, I've been listening to your tapes, and I think, and then he come the week later and said, I've done a track on that track you done. I said, nah, man, that's my track. We're doing this Massacre in Africa. And he said, just hear first. And he done the chorus of The Shining and his verse. And I was like, yo, that sounds dope, man. And then I done my verse, and then we entered it into the Westwood's Talent 2000 competition. And then from there, we just decided to be a group. And like I say, Philly come with the name Phi-Life Cypher and was like, yeah, it's something different, you know, to the point that no one really realized our name. We'd be called Phi-Life, Phi-Life Cycle, and all these type of things. But that's how Phi-Life Cypher kind of came about, man, after linking up with Philly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've known Napper for years, man, and I used to think Napper was so dope at making instrumentals back in the day. I used to think he's lying. He's getting stuff from America he thinks I ain't heard and saying he's done it because he was really dope, man. And
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So, and Napper's a big part of an inspiration of what I do. A lot of his beats bring the thoughts that make me write the lyrics that I write. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, I know there are a lot of people out there wanting to know a bit more about Napper's production style. And, you know, he's known as a digger, right?
He's a super digger. I mean, obviously, there's other people out there with music knowledge, but so personally, I don't know anybody else with more music knowledge than Napper. Anything he hears, any advert, and he'll pull a bit. That's from here. That's from there. He's sick with that stuff, man. He's a really dope dude.
Bit of a hip hop guru.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
a real connoisseur.
No, he's a full hip hop connoisseur, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that, man. And what would you say is the origin of your rapid tongue style?
I'd say again because I used to listen to a lot of reggae and I like the fast style, and I used to love Papa San and the pernamin and the fast stuff, and so obviously when I started rhyming, I kind of felt like I suited the faster beats and I wanted to sound like, I still wanted to be like a reggae man kind of thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it just turned more into a rap thing, and that's where my style comes from. And I felt like I had so much to say, was why Phi-Life Cypher used to have like 100 metaphors per line or whatever and crammed in there. But we just had a lot to say, really.
A lot to get off your chest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Plenty.
Yeah, and of course your first album, Millennium Metaphors, it's basically gained kind of classic status now.
Yeah, definitely, man.
In UK hip hop.
Yeah, no, I think so. I'm really proud of that album. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the first album we done together, and apart from things with other collaborations with people, and it's the only real album that Phi-Life Cypher kind of done as a group. You know what I'm saying? But it carried us 10, 15 years. You know what I'm saying, man? With how dope it was, man. So.
Wicked.
Yeah.
So let's jump into something off this album, man.
Yeah, we're going to go into a cut, which is kind of, I imagine, a bit like the title track. It's called Phi-Life is Here.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of...
Yep.
That's the name of the group, anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Phi-Life Cypher, Millennium 2000. Spitting the verbalistics. Let me hear you say, ooh. Ooh, Phi-Life is here, Phi-Life is here. Say ooh, ooh, Phi-Life is here, Phi-Life. And let me hear you say ooh, 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 Phi-Life is here, dressed in battle gear. The lyrical bomb flinger, Zim and the battle rapper killer. Stronger than gorillas, my lyrics smash straight through ivy pillars. The vibe bring a top filler, nigga mix it up like DJ Spinner. No one's iller, I got more chat than Oprah or Jerry Springer. King like Kong, God like Zilla for Rilla. Best rap artist, award winner, so dark I make you sleep with a gun under your pillow. Scaring rap sinners, chasing them like gremlins and critters, turning them to quitters, make them give up and turn R&B singers. To battle me is risky, like driving a car while drinking whiskey. Feeling tipsy in a McLaren F1 doing 160. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry, cause I'm just like Bill Bixby, incredible like the Hulk. I got more fans than the Beatles in the 60s. Got a prophecy like Apollo from Greek mythology. A prodigy with ideology to embalance Greek philosophy. My battle raps cause animosity. My funeral raps bury you properly. Taking more lives than a plane from Lockerbie. Cause atrocities like government hypocrisies. If rappers were MPs, I make a mockery of their policies. Let's with better qualities than most MCs. Forget diplomas and degrees. Like tuned into the G.O.D. Doing it naturally like reading pages from the Maccabee. Praise these majesty, forgive me supernatural faculties.
Stick up them grease. When I'm spitting my vocal masterpiece, I'll be spitting the hottest shit that got you ripping off your fleece. Flatten your creasy cotton like an iron. I'll be the conquering lion from Zion, doing battle like Private Ryan. Defying gravitational laws with my metaphors. Feel like we're coming just like a gang of angry predators. My lyrical spit skills got you right in your wheels and resigning. Wondering why you ever started rhyming. Hiding, ducking, and diving from my cipher sound. We're hunting you down, making you found like bloody hounds. Making the pounds, dollars, and Deutsch marks and drachma. Making a killing from the spilling I manufacture. Damage your amateur dramatics with magical math mechanics. Complicated like Japanese mathematics. Complicated like periodic tables. Eerie melodic fables. I'm making the fitness rapper feel disabled. Paraplegic, anemic, I'm feeling like River Phoenix. Lyrics making your mother use massive amounts of Kleenex. Testing my reflex, getting me vexed when you reject. Spitting lyrics assisted with a mass amount of defects. I flex from the depths of rambunctious raps. Insects like rats, rats like cats, seizure panic attacks. My wicked raps are sadistic, killer characteristics. Phillies coming to give a nigga stiff licks. Ooh, ooh, Phi-Life is here, Phi-Life is here. Say ooh, ooh, Phi-Life is here, Phi-Life. Let me hear you say ooh, 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 Phi-Life is here, dressed in battle gear. Say ooh, 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 Phi-Life is here, dressed in battle gear. Rappers disappear. Millennium 2000, skywalking. Crucifying MCs with ease, killing like plague and disease, bringing them to their knees. For real, Phi-Life Cypher, keeping it real. 2000, dilithium crystals, firing tomahawk missiles. Watch out, peace, around the globe. Traveling with Giuliano, magnificent creator. For real, new generation, beat scientists.
Yeah. What a tune, man. So that was off the debut album Millennium Metaphors. So what was the label situation around that? Was that
well, basically that was DJ Napa. He knew Julian from the Creators, and he heard the stuff and was interested. And we went up to his house one day, and he said he was looking K-Borough. K-Borough was his label at the time, and he said he was looking to put it out. And then he must have played it to DJ Vadim, who had Jazz Fudge at the time, and he was very interested in. I had a solo album and the Phi-Life album on the tape, and he wanted the solo album. And then I kind of convinced him that, look, man, we're going to be a group. I'm going to be a group anyway. It makes more sense for the group to come out and then me to do my solo stuff, which he agreed to. Recorded the stuff, and then they put out a 10-track demo to certain labels and for people to hear. And when that happened, it got in the hands of Damon Albarn from the Gorillaz. This is before we'd even released Millennium Metaphors.
Oh, wow.
And then Vadim rang me one day and said, I can't tell you what it is, but could you meet me in London next week? There's some big corporation people want to speak to you.
Yeah.
And I was saying, what is this? Who is it? And he's like, I can't really speak about it till. And then I went and met another guy called Simon Rose, who was our manager on the label. And I walked in the studio, and then I said, damn. And I see Damon Albarn and all these guys. They kind of told us their idea for the Gorillaz and the cartoon. And he said that he'd listened to most of the albums in the UK. He really felt like what we was doing. And he said, I'm really looking for one MC. And again, I was saying, listen, man, I'm a groove, man. I don't want to go nowhere without my homies.
Yeah.
And so one day he said, okay, bring Napper and Philly down. And I brought them down to the studio. Then he heard Philly rhyming. And then he was like, maybe it can work with both of you guys. You know what I'm saying? And then the biggest thing was about a month or two after that, not long after that, we recorded a few tracks with them. I got a phone call from Vadim, from Simon Rose, and he says, are you standing up? And I said, yeah. He said, you better sit down. And I said, well, he goes, just sit down first. Are you sitting down? I said, yeah. And he goes, right, I've just spoke with these people, and they're saying that over the next 3 to 4 years, this is worth £3 million. You're going to get £300,000 up front for the single that you've done. And then Damon was saying to me, listen, man, your life's made for me. Because I was saying, because I was a single parent for 17 years. And I was saying, and he said, don't worry, you and your kids are set for life now. Be prepared to be on top of the pops with Spice Girls and all this type of stuff. We signed a secrecy agreement and done the recordings and was just basically waiting to bust out and do our thing. And then they went to remix the stuff in Jamaica, and they wanted to use Dan the Ultimator. And I think they even went to somewhere like Jammy's studio or somewhere for real proper bass line.
Yeah.
And basically he heard our stuff and he said, I need to go and get some equipment from America to bring back to the studio. And when he did, he took us off and got Del the Funky Homo Sapien on it. No. But then when he come back, he said he wasn't interested in being part of the project unless they used Del the Funky Homo Sapien.
Oh, wow.
And then I've been sitting there now about 8 months saying, when's this thing happening? And I got this kind of really bad news phone call that, that's not really happening no more. But then Damon said, look, anyway, he said, it's not really up to me. It's EMI. You know what I'm saying? I want you guys, because he did say, I want this group to be from the UK, just UK talent. And then from that, we still toured. Like I toured, I went to Japan and Paris and Russia with them and done a lot of shows. But doing the Gorillaz really highlighted Phi-Life Cypher anyway and gave us an extra push from the beginning, you know what I mean, to put us out there. And then obviously what we used to do live and stuff.
Yeah, because your live show, man, was just amazing at the time, I remember. Yeah,
I mean, I used to have a lot of pent up emotion. Like I say, being a single parent is a pressure that I could never even explain. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of frustrations and stuff. That's why I said I had a lot to say. I had to spend a lot of time at home with the children, so I want to use my time wisely. So I was basically writing lyrics as soon as the kids go to bed, I'm writing lyrics. And I wanted to help me and my children by doing this music to get us out of the situation of, living on benefits and things like that, which was all an extra push, man. But that's why when my release was always when I got to the stage. It was my time to release, man, and that's where the energy kind of used to come from, man.
Amazing. Okay, man. And we've got an example of that we want to play. What's the next track we're going to play? Oh, okay. You want to play one of the Gorillaz?
Well, we did talk about it at length. But, I mean, you've done a lot of collaborations in your time, haven't you? I mean,
quite a few.
With Herbalize and Vadim.
Herbalizer, Dynamic Syncopation, Vadim.
Obviously
Skits, Ill Bill.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, my last album that I'd done, Gift of Life, before the new album has come out, I decided that most of my solo albums would just be me. There'd be an odd person on there or Philly. But I felt this time I would have worked with more UK people and see what the sound was like, you know what I'm saying? There's the most guests I had on my album, but I really enjoyed working with a lot of the other UK talent and artists.
Right. And was it through Vadim that you got to work with Task Force?
Yeah, actually it was. It was through Vadim. And I'd always rated them from my first. I mean, I went to a Mudlums before we'd ever even met Vadim or had recorded our stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time I didn't know he was Chester P.
Yeah.
And when I heard this guy on stage, it honestly blew my mind. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And then I remember Chester was freestyling that night, and he freestyled to the beat stopped. He collapsed on the floor and was free. And I was like, wow, I didn't know people from the UK could do it like that, and the intelligent lyricism he had. And we performed there, and then we spoke to them there, and he's like, yo, you guys are dope, and that where you're from, and then through Vadim we ended up linking them again and doing the EP. I mean, really, I really wanted to do an album with them guys because, you know, anything they do really is kind of classic material and inspiring. And, you know, I'm being honest, like Chester and them guys, they've always inspired me. You know what I'm saying? They come with, like, I don't know, next level stuff, man. That's my favorite MC in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Sick.
Cool. So what are we gonna play, Tom?
Yeah, we're gonna go on a track called Who's This of that EP called The Chosen Few. A quick drop price.
That's for life.
Yeah, it's Chester P. You're listening to Itch FM, the realest radio station ever. Nothing pirate, yeah? Keep it locked.
Who's this? Who's this? For life, Cypher. Who's this? Who's this? For life, Cypher. Who's this? Who's this? For life, Cypher.
This is Task Force for life, getting raw upon the mic. The four of us strike, and we meditate with metaphors at night. We practice what we preach, and even freestyle in our sleep on the streets. We bringing the heat for soldiers forever deep. We severing beats with the lead rhyme to the concrete from our tongue speak. We raw blood, vocal fire like force guts. We hammer head like Thor does, turning your frame to sawdust. Penetrate the spit shield like 4 barrels on a saw knife. We rhyme to the highest order, to fly like saucers, leaving your red eye like smoking a quarter while drinking some fire water. If you wanna hear some lyrics that blast like dynamite, check the side, Chester P, the farmer T on me like. See, I'm the mixed race who spits on the mixtape, call me mulatto. Faster than Atto, golden paint pictures like I'm Picasso. Artistic author, rhyming enforcer when it's time to launch the brain cell, bomb cell, smacking the heads of all the forces. Millennium Metaphor, new mic order, controlling the border. Bringing the science of life like that crew from Atlanta, Georgia. If you never seen or heard of Phi-Life and the task force, you'd have to be deaf, dumb and blind and in a coma. From you was born, we spawn intergalactic rap jacks and leaving the brain tipsy. The righteous rastas linking up minds with the cosmic gypsies. For life, Cypher, if you fuck with this, we'll leave your bruck up. And before you leave the scene, task force will grab your bus up. So you better hush up, practice your skills and get your head down. If you try to fuck with this, we'll paralyze you from the neck down.
That's just what I want to hear.
Poison motion, see me like the modern Trojan. Eyes broken, talking like a ghetto spokesman. Verbal tear gas, breaking down your Lego science. Last hopeful, stepping like a rebel giant. Mr. Underdog, stranded on the devil's wavelength. Drunk pilot, crash land your whole engagement. Ultraviolet aura, flashing for the ancients. Dr. Hackenbush, life's killing all my patients. Rock the Slassinger's lifeblood, I'm into racket. Hit the world with my jive, sparing none the graphics. Forever dim lit back streets and drug habits. Shasty minded, carrying the world's baggage. Mutant hybrid, I'm half man and half rodent. Self-destructive, I still wonder why I was chosen. No instructions, my whole life's been a freestyle. Open surgery, Operation Green Mile. Complex circuitry, drowning on the cheap wines. I kill my body with the fluids of a deep man. Spill me spirits on crushed ice with no mixer. Turn these minutes to years, I'll pull a full twister. Mr. Troglodyte, center of your Chinese whispers. Let me occupy your thoughts with some timeless wisdom. Sticks and stones might break my bones, but those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
For life, Cypher, farmer jars in the Chester P. It's time for me to spit and I leave the people impressed with me. Collaborating to blast jaws, kicking shit with the task force and spitting it quicker than any Ross horse. I'm getting darker, Chester pass me a marker. An attack for the task force and for life down to the soccer. These lyrical rap wrestlers, they're steadily making a mess of ya. The sickest spirits inside the lyrics have started possessing ya. We're verbally glorious in the battle scene, we're victorious. We exterminating the people that tried to fuck with the 4 of us. Ripping the mic piranha style, harming commas with farmer jars and Chester. And making more noise than petrol protesters. Cause we're the vocal investors of excellence. Just eradicating the pestilence to the traumatized with titanical testaments. We damage your district with the strictest of lyrical discipline. If you spit the shit in the dirty south, we're leaving it glistening. The godly responded with more flavor than fondants. And I'm spitting as high as Einstein's cosmological constants. We're leaving your brains frazzled and brushing rappers like Razzle. With the most marvelous magic, we leave the devil bedazzled. We also
and forcing cause and finding time with distortion. So proceed with caution before you're forced into abortion. We twist you up like a torsion and wear you down to the insoles and make you look a state of the first pair of
I'm the fucking Godfather. All Capone that charged up, sitting down, counting my tracks in a gold hat. Farms a Godfather rapper, balaclavaed up, strutting my stuff, knocking them back with no sign of puff. It takes Snapper and 4 rappers to bust your bumper. Fuck a punchline, I rumble through the undergrowth. You needing signposts pointing out the way home. I'm getting sick of all you idiots and egos. And those who copycats better have a place to hide. You shouldn't follow people, man, just be inspired. And that's the way I feel, fuck it, what's keep it real. Perception's determined by a record deal. And you can criticize purely cause we're making tracks. I'm out the bedroom, blood, and straight onto wax. The 4 horsemen, riding on a thunderstorm. Pen grip tight, dark night on a unicorn. You're face to face with a real dilemma here. Something spontaneous that sucks up the atmosphere. So backstabbers grab a piece of the air, cause we just don't care.
Yeah, man. Pulling out the old classics, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shit sounds dope still, man.
Amazing, man. So we come to the point of your first solo album, right?
Yeah.
So what made you to decide to finally put this solo album up?
Like I say, coming together with Philly, I'd already started putting tracks together like as a solo artist before, so I always had an intention to do my solo stuff. And like I say, I didn't want to put it before being a group. So once the group come out, then I decided that, at some point I need to get some of this, my own stuff out there as well, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want it sitting around, because especially Everyday Life, quite a lot of that was recorded before even some of the stuff from Millennium Metaphors, you know what I'm saying? As an MC, when people hear it, it's fresh, but to me, I was like, this stuff's getting old, man. I need to get my stuff out there, man, and getting on man's case. And then, then we put out the Everyday Life, man, which, again, man, for a first album, I was really happy with, man. I'm really proud of that album.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you were saying earlier on that you looked at Chester P as an inspiration.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a lot of the stuff you was writing at the time just seemed so far ahead of what people was doing. So, I mean, what was actually, obviously, besides Chester P, what else was inspiring what you was doing at that time?
Honestly, just life, just real life, you know what I'm saying? And the life that I lived, the experiences that I've had, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people, I've been through a lot of things in life, man, and a lot of pain and stuff. And me personally, I've been through a lot of things involving racism and stuff like that, and a lot of world issues that would always trouble me, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like, not like it was my job or I was trying to and make a point by doing it. When I wrote this stuff, that's just what was coming out of my mind, you know what I'm saying?
And did you always look at it kind of like therapeutic, the music? Or?
Yeah, definitely. Music is therapy for me, man. You know what I'm saying? Even like sometime last year, I decided to stop rhyming and performing, but it's only been about 4 months, most probably, since I put out that I'm not going to perform no more, but I'm already kind of missing it a bit and just feeling like, this is me, this is what I do, and I felt a little bit lost without it. I started working on a lot of reggae tracks that will be coming out in the summer too. Like I said, I started with reggae and it's still one of my passions. And because I started with reggae, a lot of reggae is cultural based and reality lyricism.
Yeah.
So that was always in my head. And when I was younger, I was in a group called World Peace and Disarmament when Musical Youth was about. And it was all about reality. And I used to go to this house that was just full of Rasta man.
Yeah.
And they'd be chanting, telling me about pagans and heathens, where I didn't fully understand what they're saying at the time, man, but it all stuck in the back of my subconsciousness, you know what I mean? And as you start to get wisdom in what's going on in the world and putting together what they were saying, and then I just decided that, personally, even the music I'd listen to, I didn't like all the bullshit. I like, messages, topics, issues. You know what I'm saying? Music is there to dance, have fun, but also, you know what I'm saying, is a message. And the amount of messages I get worldwide thanking me for the inspiration and what your music does. You know what I mean? It used to surprise me, man. Like, wow, we reach here, we reach there. And the more you realize you're inspiring people, you want to do that more. You know what I'm saying? My music's never really, honestly, it's never really been about money. You know what I'm saying? And, I've sat in places with Phi-Life, Cypher, where we've kind of been offered a pretty good kind of deal, but, like, if you change your lyrics a bit, if you dress like this. And we was really militant them times anyway, like, hardcore. Nah, man, we're hardcore hip-hop. We ain't doing that shit, man. And And that's how I've always been, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what would before we get into the next track, what would prompt you though to want to say that you're giving up music and you're done with performing?
Damn. Well, basically, you know what? I'll just be honest with it, man. In the last year or so, since I done Gift of Life, and I started working with a few UK MCs and stuff, and then obviously between Twitter and Facebook and that, started hitting up people and talking to people. But what it is, I felt like I was getting a lot of negativity back, and I if I'm honest, I still feel like that with a lot of UK artists that I respect and rate, and I feel this, you know, I can't even say it is happening, but I feel there's this thing like, we're going to stop Life now. We don't, you know, like, because Phi-Life broke up, it was a kind of a really bad situation between Life, Napa and Cypher. A lot of talk, propaganda, rumours and things, and I did a blog about when we broke up, and a lot of people seem to think that I was being against Cypher, putting my side of the story across. And the only reason I even done the blog is because I was rung by DJ 279.
Yeah.
And he started saying, yo, I heard you're doing this and that to Philly and all these type of... And I was like, no, nothing of the sort. And he goes, you're letting down the fans. And then I was sitting at home saying, man, what are people thinking? I need to just make them know why we broke up, kind of thing. And I think a lot of people have said to me, you shouldn't have done that blog. It's not a good look. It's a bad look. And you come across like you're bitter and stuff like that, where I had no intention to do anything of the sort. For me, I was explaining the situation of why we broke up. And ever since then, I felt more and more negativity. I've even had things on Facebook where people have said stuff and promoters and been pretty rude. And I've never really had people be negative towards me. And that started affecting how I think while I was trying to be creative and stuff. And then it got to a point where I said, I've had enough of this. I've done a lot for the UK. And I respect everybody. Even if they don't respect me, I know who I respect, and I'll always do that, you know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to come away from the negativity, basically, you know what I'm saying? And I'm feeling a bit let down, if anything, if I'm honest, by, you know, some of the actions of people who obviously don't know me. And it seemed to the point of, there was a vibe like, wow, we've been listening to Life for 10 years, talking all this reality and conscious stuff, and really, he's not conscious. He's a fraud. He does this. And when I was feeling that, man, for someone to feel that, I didn't really want to speak about these type of things on there, but because I was feeling like that, it really got to me, you know what I'm saying? And I was going through, and still am, a lot of really deep personal issues on top of that, you know what I'm saying? And too much negativity, so I just wanted to get away from the music for a while and that vibe, man, because I don't like it, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a negative
don't let
person,
it get to you.
Yeah. And the only way
leave
sometimes
for the sake of hip-hop.
move away, you know, or take a break or whatever, because I decided I weren't doing it no more, but I feel like I'll just be on an extended break, you know what I'm saying, and at some point I'll be back on it, but I've got plenty of material still, so much material to release that, you know, I don't even have to really write for the next year, you know what I'm saying, no more.
Yeah, and obviously being someone that's so prolific, man, a lot of other prolific artists definitely at some point in their career always take a break, man, just to recharge the batteries and just you know, obviously sit and assess where your career's gone and how it's affected, like you said, the world in terms of artists. And there seems to be an issue in this country, man, where and we hear it from a lot of guests we speak to on this show, whereas especially the older, the more veterans, the ones that have really done legendary things in this country, and where they just, you know, it's kind of disrespected or not appreciated, and it's sad, man, you know.
It is, but you know, I mean, also I know that, you know, we're from, you know, like me, Chester, that we're from a different generation, so the next generation comes up, like Chester, Meister, all these people. Back in the day, it was all of us on the circuit, and everyone kind of knows everybody, you know what I'm saying? And when the new ones come, they don't know you as well. They respect you from hearing your music and being a bit of an inspiration, but as a person, they don't know you. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I've always said this, that I really believe that a lot of UK stuff never takes off properly because everybody wants the spotlight for themselves, where you can be a movement. You know what I'm saying? If there's one person, they're pushing that car, it's not getting far. You got 100 people pushing that car, it might be going 100 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? Everyone wants the spotlight type of thing sometimes and not working together. And another thing is, you know, I forgot, because I do a lot of stuff with messages and just for the scene, there's still people out there. It's competitive, you know what I'm saying? They're there to compete.
Yeah.
They don't really want it to be friendly, or they're thinking you're a dick rider or this and that. And when, like I say, I don't like that stuff. I don't live like that. So, you know, I had to come away from it, man, because I just don't feel those vibes at all.
Well, yeah, I think positivity is the key.
Yeah,
and for everyone involved.
Definitely.
And I think both sides have gone on to make excellent stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And see, you know, it's best seen as a new beginning, really.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I wanted to get back into your solo stuff.
Okay.
Particularly the way you get quite deep on like social commentary and like current issues and stuff. And I mean, I've particularly got in mind a track you did related to the Stephen Lawrence case.
Yeah, I mean that. For me, I remember watching when I think it was a BBC or ITV, I don't know which station. I shouldn't even be promoting those stations, but on one of those stations they had a documentary about the situation. And when I saw it in full, and I saw the full racism, and I could see the hatred, and you could feel the vibe, that thing just really hurt me. It kind of just took me inside. It's almost like I felt the pain of his family for real, you know what I'm saying? And it really, really angered me at the time, man. And I just felt like I've got to make a statement here. I've got to make something change, man. And as a program thing, I just got my pen, my paper, while I felt that passionate and angry as well, you know what I'm saying? And I just wrote the lyrics, man. And when I done the track, it was to sell for charity, to raise money to give to his family, you know what I'm saying? Which is why I done the In Memory in the first place. But yeah, I mean, we live in a world, man, that is full of bollocks, politics and stuff like that. And you know, everybody can have their own awakening to what they think's going on, you know what I'm saying? And my message is just for the people the same like me. I feel like growing up, we've been lied to so much and fooled in this world sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's all about government, money, trickery. We all live life. Sometimes we're forced to live and shouldn't have to live. And there's always a different way, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to speak out. And the best way is music, because my music, you know, or any musician, you can reach anywhere in the world. You know, I've had messages from like South Africa, Soweto, where, you know, they live a lot worse than us. And they're like, yo, man, your stuff is what keeps me going and in the life that I'm living. And once you know that, you feel like it's a bit of your saying for other people. Like I say, my music's not about me personally. It's about my experiences, what I've been through and what other people have been through. And yeah, so when I see bullshit, you know what I'm saying, sometimes I just want to tackle that on a beat, man. And I know that put off labels sometimes, too much reality and real stuff, but like I said, that's what I'm about, man.
Cool, so let's get into it, man. Track entitled In Memory.
Yeah.
Stephen Lawrence was killed, cold-blooded murder. A racist attack by 5 guys who hated blacks. They blatantly proved that. Caught live on camera in a flat, simulating violent attacks with sharp knives and bats, calling blacks niggas and coons. Names that be derogatory while boasting about street fights and other kinds of thuggery. Obviously, the police, they never done their job properly, but most of them are racist and hatred is their philosophy. Treating us like aliens, trespassing on their property. The way they treated Stephen Lawrence's case was a mockery. Daylight robbery, they stole a life and got away with it. Smiles on their faces, but them racists gonna pay for it. If only me and Stephen could have swapped. If it was me at the bus stop, I would have bust up every one of them white blood clot. It's a fact. Most time I pack an axe inside my rucksack, and once I start swinging black, the way they could have ducked that. 5 heads in a duffel bag, my axe back
back in a rucksack. But if I would have done that, they would have said I was on crack. Brought hanging back and fight my black ass like a Big Mac. But it's the fact, the laws to be lax when the victims they be black. What a tragedy, they killed Stephen and broke up his family. Stabbed his savagely, the black community reacted angrily when the 5 boys walked scot-free from the inquiry. Smiles on their faces, cockily grinning, got away with killing. One of the fathers be a known villain, serving time in prison for firearms, drug offenses, and ism schism. This evil man also stood trial on a murder case and was also charged for shooting a girl point blank in the face. A rich man who usually seems to get the charges dropped, whether it's bribing the victims or giving backhanders to the cops.
Man is so caught up in this evil system of racial injustice.
A dodgy situation in the police station brought to light by Stephen's family led to an internal investigation. Officers were suspended, handed in resignations. When questioned on the matter, they showed no cooperation. The Home Office had no choice, pressured by the people's voices to intervene and find out just what these 5 boys did and why Stephen's family made a private prosecution. I'm still disillusioned by the lack of law enforcement contribution. It's black persecution, ignorance and racism. Why Stephen was killed and 5 men, they never went to prison. This kind of thing, it does no good for race relations. And further mars the reputation of great British police stations. Most of the force are Caucasian. Only in a few situations the police station have I seen a couple token blacks and Asians. I'm losing my patience with this damn pressure, stereotypical accusations and blatant racial discrimination, police fabrication, provocation and character assassination. Unprovoked attacks on young blacks in police stations. The black population is seen as a second-class nation. To me, this is a breakdown of integration, communication. Vexation is a sensation I feel in this situation. The situation I'm talking about is one of intimidation, degradation, suffocation. Freemasons who trying to tighten the laws and lock the doors on immigration. They like to see an African and Jamaican migration. Strong believers of repatriation and a strictly white nation. In America they didn't do a thing about the beating of Rodney King. That's why the LAPD are the cause of all the deaths and the rioting. They incited that, then decided to blame it on the blacks. But in the light of the King case, how the rats was we to react? Finding the officers not guilty means they ignored the facts and more or less gave the LAPD a license to beat up on the blacks. It's racism, blood clot ism, schism. But this dude man go and fight down them system. Them should have never killed Stephen. No, them dirty little heathen. Yo, them should have never killed Stephen. One day with the racists we are gonna get even. Yeah, them should have never killed Stephen. No, them dirty little heathen. Now what we say one day with the racists, tell them say that we have to get even. Now yo, Lord of mercy, how what we tell them racists can't curse me. How we say, yeah man, rest in peace Stephen Lawrence. Until the majority stop harming we, there should never be racial harmony, only sufferation. So bring education to teach the youth about integration, jobs and equal rights for Asians, blacks and whites. Until this day there shall always be bloodshed and fights. In the memory of Stephen Lawrence and the strength of his family to fight back against the system. Peace, the LIFE bringing you wisdom.
Wow, what a track. Yeah, I was just saying off mic, man, we're looking at everyday life and I was just reminiscing and thinking to myself, bloody hell, this is such a classic album, man. In regards to like the subject matter is so, you know, every single track on that project seemed to have a purpose.
Yeah.
And it was designed for something, and it's one of them ones where I think we're probably going to have to classic review it because at some point, because it's literally, there's so many conversations we could have about this. I mean, obviously, we were talking about baddest man on the planet because you're obviously a boxing enthusiast.
Yeah, very much so.
And also a mixed martial art enthusiast as well, isn't it?
Yep.
Judging from your recent videos with was it the Gracie Gym, was it?
No, basically that my brother he has a business partner and they run UK MMA Expo.
Oh, nice.
My brother's a Thai fighter, he's a referee, he's a judge and stuff, and so they do the expo every year and they get a lot of UFC fighters and stuff. And he said, look, this year we got Gustafsson and a few other guys. And I was like, man, if I can get those in a video. And he said, yeah, we're paying them, they'll do that shit. So I went down to the expo and shot the video for the No Pain No Gain track, man, which again I was really happy with, man. And I've met people like, that's what I mean, I'm really enthusiast of these things, man. Like I met Gracie, Hoist Gracie, and I remember shaking his hand, and it's the first time that I had that, I went dizzy kind of thing, like yo, because he is a legend. And you gotta remember, well, for me, I know that the impact Bruce Lee had on the world.
Mm.
The only thing after that is jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And that technique of fighting, which those guys, the Brazilian jiu-jitsu, basically invented, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, the same. Fighting's always been part of my life, as in I used to box myself. I've always trained. I had a gym in my garage where I train all the time, you know what I'm saying? And that's why, like I said, speaking of Mike, you know, I ended up with a very bad spinal injury. I've lost most of my weight, a lot of my movement. I struggle a lot sometimes for mobility, even when performing. So, you know, it really changed up for me with that aspect. But that's why I wanted to do there. I always feel frustrated because I've always exercised, man. And so I still wanted them things to come across within my music, man. Like I say, I'm a full enthusiast of that. That's what I spend a lot of time doing, man, just watching boxing. And I'm hoping at one point that I can get on Sky TV as a commentator, you know. So if anyone out there is listening, man, life's looking a job, you know. And I mean, I've done the Mike Tyson track and another track called Pound for Pound. And for me to see that played through the whole Olympics, and even the closing ceremony they used it for. It was used for Friday night fights on Sky TV for 2 years.
Wow.
And yeah, so I was really happy with that, like I say, because they're all things that I'm into and I watched regular. So
yeah, and you can definitely hear it in the way you deliver your lyrics. It kind of sounds like a boxing match.
Yeah.
It kind of gets you. So I can imagine, man.
Sometimes it's like that. It's a bit like fight music, man.
Yeah.
But without the, you know, the negativity of fighting.
Cool. We got that track, Tom?
Yeah, I think so. Just give us a sec.
Yeah, we got to play that. We got to play that, man. Definitely represent as well, man. So you said you used to train, you used to box, and obviously you stopped due to an injury. I mean, did that also affect you with your performance as well? Or
yeah, definitely. I mean, even before the spinal injury I'm on about, I was sparring one day with somebody that was a heavyweight, and he basically accidentally caught me with a shot in my Adam's apple. Caused my Adam's apple to swell. I stopped breathing. I couldn't breathe, and they had to perform an emergency tracheostomy. And I remember when I woke up in the hospital with this pipe in my throat, couldn't speak, and they said there's a 50-50 chance that you'll never have your voice back. And the fear, I remember the tears streaming down my eyes, just thinking, man, this is, you know, rap, and that's what I want to do, and I use my voice and stuff, and you know, that was a big scare, man. And yeah, so I stopped the boxing then, and I started training and doing a bit of amateur mixed martial arts before I kind of hurt my spine, and then then there was no more of that stuff really.
Wow. Okay. So we get ready to get into the track?
Yeah, let's get into it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the sold-out theater of
this
Madison
is
Square
Pound for Pound from Everyday Life.
Get ready to rumble!
Superstar with the skills of Shane Mosley. Born great like Ali, so don't oppose me. Plus I stay clever. Box with the speed of Mayweather. Frustrating opponents like Hammond while their face be taking never. A fake never, cause I'm the real deal like Holyfield. A hook and punch your eye until it looks like Bushwick Bill. Detach your retina, detect you and tear you apart, yo. At nighttime I'm trained by the spirit of Ray Robinson and Costiamato. He taught me everything he held back from Mike Tyson. Life I'm throwing punches in bunches with the strength of a bison. You wanna fight son, then get the terms right. Prepare for war, more intensity than a Marvin Hagler Thomas Hearns fight. Like Roy Jones to the dome, I defeat you with one flurry. Shock the world like Lloyd Hunnigan, beating on Don Curry. I'm so tough when you punch me, you'll be hurting your hands. Have you hollering for no mask like your name was Roberta Duran. A bad man in the ring, boxing killer like Adamski. Cause wounds to the face that can't be made safe by Flippermansky. Don't try to ban me, I'm not an ear biter, I'm a fear fighter. I'm so heavy inside the ring at the way inside peer lighter. When the bell sounds, most boxers are spellbound. Before I can get across the ring to do anything, most will purposely fell down. With my jab, I'm sticking you, moving and hitting you. Slippery like Arnold Whitaker. Of your title, I'll be stripping you. You know that I'll be whipping you inside of the ring's perimeter. From Southport to an orthodox stance, I'm not particular. Inside of the ring, there's not
find a man who could do it, even if it's trained by Angelo Dundee and Emmanuel Stewart. I'm the undisputable man who'll be fluid, and I'm throwing blows at foes so hard they'll be seeing 6 heads like Andrew Lewis. To the ribcage I'll attack, on Mike McCallum body snatch 'em. I'm ferocious like Fernando Vargas, ready for action, bringing jabs to you like Zab Judah. This suits the best. See my records suggest I'm better than you, Lil Caesar's your best. Wake up out of my bed, put on a vest, as weighted with lead, and run up beside the Kilimanjaro just to train up my legs. My stamina's so good I can bust while I'm holding my breath. I'll knock you out and leave you stiffer than a man who's frozen to death. Whichever opponent's next better be showing respect. At every punch I throw connects, leaving fighters with broken necks. More macho than Hector Camacho, sweeter than Ray Leonard. I date you like Joe Frazier, beat you around the ring and chase you. The Hawk like Aaron Pryor, sharp as the blade of Byron Barkley. The golden boy like De La Hoya, the beast like John McGarvey. Spoiler undefeated fighters party, dealing with first defeat. Make him flinch every time he moves like his boots were hurting his feet. In fighting competitions, beat boxers with double vision. Both my arms pumping like pistons with a force of forming a listen. From the ring you'll be carried home, I'll be jabbing your dome. Ground bomber like Joe Louis, I'll hit you like Larry Holmes. Snapping your bones like I'm more poisonous than Junior Jones. Pound for pound, jab assuming position upon my throne. From body blows to overhand rights, left hook to uppercuts. I cause fighters to buckle up, spark 'em and leave them doubled up. None of them are tough enough. Punch me and get your knuckles cut. When I apply the pressure, bob and weave and start ducking up. Baddest man on the planet, with a chin made of granite. I'm an addict with a boxing habit, baddest, goddammit. Be the big fighter with a heart of Dick Tiger, you can't stop me. You don't believe me, ask Apollo, Creed, Ivan Drago, or Rocky. I'm Clubber Man like Clubber Lang, fight me and you're in trouble, man. Crack your cranium so hard your brain will need a double scan. Never see me duck a man, just like bringing these rockers plan. Look into my eyes, you'll realize I'll be the toughest man. Fight for every second of every round until the bell sounds. I'm a throwback, I don't hold back, I'll beat you till you fell down. From Mandalay Bay to Caesar's Palace, to Madison Square Garden, buy a ticket to see me, cause I'm the baddest. Every training camp I've been there, from the ground gym to Big Bear. Training my fist there, leaving those sparring partners in despair. I've got style and job fashion, that's why I'm wanted by the doofus. Frank Warren, Don King, I'm Bob Arum. I'll be the pay-per-view favorite, yo. From Showtime to HBO, from Sky TV to radio. That's how these fighters making dough. Manage myself, take control, I'm ruling every division. Make the biggest heavyweight seem as small as Barry McGuigan. Who comers, I'll be fighting them. Most of the time I frighten them. It's me, retired Steve Collins, Chris Eubanks, and Nigel Benn.
It is absolutely dazzling. Oh, big right hand! Well, it's what's going through his mind now. I don't think he even seen that punch at all.
Yeah, man. No, I can definitely hear you as a boxing commentator. Definitely, you got the expertise down to a T, man.
And also, quickly, one thing is, I see life a bit like boxing. You know, anyone can prepare you for life, but you have to go and live your life. And just like in boxing, you can get knocked down. It's whether you get back up. And you got to be there for the championship rounds, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I see it.
For real, man. Yeah, okay. So looking at your solo discography, I've noticed that you incorporate the word life in the title of every album you do.
Yeah.
What's the significance of that?
Well, obviously my name's Life, but also, like I said at the beginning, you know, everything in life, you know, is what inspires me, you know what I'm saying? It's about the life that we're living, you know what I'm saying? And especially if you got a message for people. So that's why, you know, my first album, Everyday Life, they're the thoughts I every day have, you know what I'm saying? Realities of life. It's just a reality of the life we live. And, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I kind of gave all my albums a title with the life, right?
Yeah. And I think the last one you delivered was in 2013, The Gift of Life.
Yeah, Gift of Life.
Right, and you said you've got another album after that one, which is coming.
There's one out now, which is the one with Bad Habits, the one you got there, Deep in the Trenches. That came out March the 5th, and before that, I had another album out, which is Sounds of the Underground, which was with all different type of producers, because most of my albums are just DJ Napper.
Yeah.
So again, I wanted to try a different sound with different producers, you know what I'm saying? But Underground Sounds wasn't like a full, hey, this is a live album. It was just more like putting together a lot of dope producers and the stuff I've done with them and releasing it kind of as an album. But The Bad Habits is definitely a dope album, man. I'm really happy with that. And, you know, it's the first time I fully worked with a producer outside DJ Napper, you know what I'm saying? But the vibe of his beats gave me some really good vibes too.
Yeah.
And like I say, again, I was going through a lot of stuff in life, which is why the album is called Deep in the Trenches, because that's what I felt at the time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Deep in the trenches of life, you know what I'm saying? And
wow.
Yeah.
Deep in the trenches of life. And so this is the one that, so the official release for this is
March the 5th it was.
March the 5th. Oh, so it's literally just come out.
Couple of weeks out.
Couple of weeks ago. Wicked. So we're gonna jump into a track of this album.
Okay.
Yeah, and so how did they collaborate? How did you get together with the producer of this project?
Basically, I was speaking. I was looking to maybe do a EP with the Split Profits, and I was speaking to Bad Habits like over the internet and social media, and he started sending me batches of beats, and then the more beats he sent, man, the more I just kept writing to them until it became like, well, I might do also my own EP with. And then it just started to build until we was like, we've nearly got an album. We might as well do an album's worth, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it kind of came about, man. And, you know, it kind of gelled together really well and really quickly. I mean, we done it in 2013, actually. And it's another album that I am really happy with the sound, man. And you know, my music seems to, when I listen back now, I can hear more maturity, you know, and as you get older, you get more wisdom, you see things different. Even some things I might have said on Everyday Life, I don't think so, that my mind might be in a different place now and wiser, and you know, you express it again differently, man.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna jump into a track called Back at It.
Okay.
Taken from the new album.
I'm back at it, the rap addict, the feared force like black magic. Every track's graphic, creating mad static. Fans and fanatics hyperventilate, breathing like asthmatics. Acrobatic, charging vibe up like a rascal's childish life and bad habits. Through the mathematics, explosive lucid doses. So especially grab yourself a black jacket. With ninjas without the black fabrics, with monsters of our art and craft, no hold back like early mixed martial arts. MCs ain't got half the bars in life, ain't bearing half the scars. They ain't spitting half as hard as me, they don't have half the heart. Habits putting breaks together like bones inside a plaster cast. Combined skills, no ego, down the middle, half and half. See, we put on the masterclass. Big sound, large to ras. Many claim they're hard, but the sound could never be as large as ours. Next level like driving flying cars on Mars. Try to stop the sound and you'll get thrashed like heavy metalists playing large guitars. Ill rappers still illmatic like them first album bars from Nas. Even Oliver Reed in his prime could never match me bar for bar. You fuck with me, that's when the carnage starts. When I aim, I'm deadly like the poison tips on safari hunters sharpen darts. Musically we pump you up so much we might enlarge your heart. Our flavors just like Raekwon's ice cream mixed with some harp and darts. Lyrical god like Zilla and Natsuki. Trying to educate on New Jack Pookies. No movie acting, real talk like Chuki. Bad habits in life. Bobby Sands and Steve Biko. Starving artists crying for freedom. I'm fighting for our people. My deep, unique, elite flows. Take off, no Heathrow. Stand steadfast is plain and simple. My technique shows. Right brother type capacity. Daniel Tamnick, mathematic accuracy. And a vision that's way beyond this galaxy. I'm like a cyclone, when I zone, get your mind blown. Communicating with your ears, like Androids and iPhones. My rhyme tones, back up the harmonies. It's not hard to see the artistry involved in a flow and unload my armory. I always going hard on beats, creating natural mystics like I traveled back in the 70s and smoked a pipe above Marley's weed. Got rhymes in the wake of minds, but I wrote them while I was half asleep at the end of a studio session that had been going on for half a week. It's like every day in the lab, honest man, I'm on it. Bad habits, king of the beats, something like Mantronics. We make this music cause the fans want it. Numerous nuclear styles of rap, give me the mic and watch me jam on it. Mr. Sheen on crack and mullish, yes my style is mad polished. I'm not new to hip hop, I'm a scholar full of rap knowledge.
Such a big track, man.
That's
Back at it.
huge.
Nice. So you said you've definitely opened it up now and you're working with different producers, and are you working with young artists as well? You bringing through any artists?
Yeah, really it's just producers really that I've been working with. I do have an album hopefully that should be coming out this year, which I've done with Leaf Dog and Smell It and Piff, and that's a young guy that I heard that I said, man, he's got like the brain of a 30 and 40-year-old man of wisdom, the way he speaks. So I contacted him and said if we can work together. And the same things, Leaf Dog was just sending me beats and we was going to do like a track or an EP, and it just started to build to an album where I think at the moment we've got about 14 or 15 tracks again, which we done in about 2013. I think we may be going to do another 1 or 2. And then it's up to them guys like when we release that, man. But that's really dope as well. And it's nice to have someone that's a different generation, but almost with the same thoughts and understanding and wisdom, because you don't see that. You know, this generation, man, I feel sorry for them, but you know, I feel like it's a kind of lost generation. So when you find people that ain't lost and know they might listen to Smell It and More because they relate to him and his age. So there's still these people to give you that right message, you know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people who talk reality, it can change people's lives and way of thinking, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But I do have an EP coming out with a guy named KB Original, which is a 6-track EP. I've also got a 6-track EP with a guy called Sofa King. And then me and Napa are hoping around October or November to release another one of my solo albums. And then I have another 2 EPs with Napa and also an EP with a singer. And I have some reggae stuff coming. So like I say, there's a lot of material that I've done. When I felt deep in the trenches, I used music as my therapy and I wrote a lot and recorded a lot, you know what I'm saying? So there's a big back catalogue of stuff to come. And like I say, I'll take a break, reassess, and maybe come with more new shit.
So you ever gonna like slow it down at some point and at least put out a greatest hits?
I don't know, you know. Like I say, as long as you feel like you got something to say, there's no point in doing a greatest hits. You might as well just keep, you know, running tracks, man. I mean, we've kind of got one with For-Life. The Playback album was kind of a lot of the good tracks we done, man. But you know, like I say, while you can stay creative and make new and fresh stuff, I'd rather do that than rehash stuff and things like that.
Because I mean, listening to some of your work, it sounds to me, especially with the detail, that you could do more than hip hop, really. I mean, it sounds like you could be doing a book or even a screenplay.
Yeah, well, like I say, a lot of people who know me have always said to me, yo, life, man, your life is like a book, it's like a movie, like people wouldn't believe it and you need to do a book. And I mean, at some point, I'm looking to do that, but it's about finding the time and doing these things proper. They're not things you jump into and rush and do. You know, if you do something, it's got to be quality and time spent on it. And I'm also about to start doing some of my own video production, short stories and documentaries, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, at some point, man, I'm looking to do a book. People are always putting that to me. You know what I mean? You know, maybe if I can get £1 million budget, might even do a little movie, man.
Yeah, man. No, definitely, especially in this age where, you know, it's in our hands, man. We don't even need agents anymore. You can literally give the product direct to the consumer. So
yeah, man. I mean, where I come from in Luton at the moment, there's been a lot of crazy gang violence. I mean, a lot of deaths on my estate and stuff. And I'm just about to start working with a lot of the people that have been getting involved in that, to do music with them, to do these videos and show them there's a better way, you know what I'm saying? Which is also, for the next 2 years, is going to be also funded by Luton Police Station, which, you know, looking at the police when I was younger, they was like my enemies, you know what I'm saying? But I know how easy it is to get in trouble without actually being a troublesome person sometimes. And like I say, there's a lost generation, there's a lot less for them. So it's about trying to open up their eyes and give them a bit of opportunity and give back a bit, man. So and I'm looking forward to working with these.
And that's a good point to add, that a lot of people don't really know that police do have funding for the community to run their own initiatives and projects.
There's lots of funding out there. You know, it's just a shame that it seems like a lot of funding is kind of hidden, or you've got to go and find it, you know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of kids miss out on this stuff, man. So I'm also looking to point them in the directions of this funding, teach them photography, teach them how to do their videos, shoot a few videos with them, record music with them. Napa's going to be making some beats for some kids of my area. And I'm also, in the next 18 months, you're going to see a documentary which is going to be on fathers' rights, which you know, I've been through a lot of stuff to do with that. And then speaking to a few people in hip hop, noticed there's a lot of people that, you know, a younger generation of people, and, you know, not just black people, but when I've been to court, like before for my children, I've been told things like, you're 3-0 down already because you're a man. And then, you know, sometimes being of color makes that even more difficult. And a lot of people don't know how to deal with these situations, where I feel really experienced in it. Like I could I feel like more or less be a barrister on those things for the experience I've had. And I want to pass that on to people as well. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a big thing with it, within what we live, man. And I don't agree with these people. You know what I'm saying? They're not just for little things. Well, I wouldn't call it a little thing, things like Baby P and stuff, but there's so many of those that you don't hear about. You know what I'm saying? And if I can quickly say, I had an experience with my children, where I went to bed one night and 5 o'clock in the morning, my front door was kicked off. 10 police run in my home, picked up my 2 young children and ran out the door with them, arrested me on a false charge, put my children in foster care for 6 weeks, then returned them. I went to court and they said, we've made a mistake, we're really sorry, your children might be traumatized and there'll be an investigation, which there never was, that really affected me and really affected my children, you know what I'm saying? And what I saw within that and what they tried to do, man. And I just know there's a lot of people that go through that, but you do have rights and there is a way to go about it, you know what I'm saying? And I want to try and put that across, you know, also within the music. Like I say, it's almost believed like, you know, a man cannot raise his children, which I've raised my 2 children, you know what I'm saying? And you can do that, but it's a fight. So, yeah, any way possible I can get people to know their rights. But this documentary, I'm looking, like I say, to work with a few people that's on this to, you know, maybe even get it on a Channel 4 or a BBC, man.
Yeah.
To be really informative, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's definitely needed, man. It's
Yeah,
definitely needed.
definitely.
But yeah, okay, all right. Well, for our listeners, which they come accustomed to, they like to hear them live raps, man. Okay. And I know this is something that you're definitely like your reputation precedes you in a sense. And I know I don't really want to put you under pressure, but we're probably gonna close out the show with a nice freestyle or a verse or two. So it's up to you.
That's all good. That's all good. Yeah, I'll drop a little freestyle.
Wicked, man. All right, Tom, you got something?
One. Check, 1, 2. MC Life, man, I'm just passing through. Stick to the microphone just like it's glue. I get cold on the mic like I'm in an igloo. So cold, everyone in here has got the flu. Now they all crying and they're like boo-hoo, only joking. Yo, sense is what I'm smoking. This is what I talk about, cause it's thought provoking. I'm an HFM. Yo, you can scratch, but I won't itch again. Freestyle off the top of the head. 6'4" with them big long dreads. Life MC, been in the game a long time. I'm known for freestyling, for making long rhymes that go on and on to the break of dawn. I keep it reality, I'm not into porn. Some people look at me and might look with scorn. My name's Life, life is when you're born. You come out of a womb, you live for some years, and maybe you'll cry tears when you're gone in a tomb or a grave. But I am here to save people, not to live like a slave. I move quick like I'm Gwen Torrance, and I'll always talk about Stephen Lawrence and other issues, but I never dish you. I rip the mic up like it was tissue, freestyle off the top of the head. I think that's something that I said before. I don't stunt like Evel Knievel, be playing records, and I can see the needle spinning round with Serato. MC Life spits the dark flow.
Yeah, sick, man, sick. And I know, you know what I mean, we literally come to the end of the show, so it's one of those things I would have loved to extend it, like, if we had more time. And it's one of these things, especially with artists such as yourself, we could have definitely, you know, and at some point we will definitely, hopefully, do this again. And because I feel there's so much more we could have discussed, there's so much more tracks we wanted to play.
Okay.
And also you brought down some goodies for our listeners, man. We've got a lot of the new albums. You wanna say what we got here?
Well, there's a couple of vinyl from the new album with the Deep in the Trenches, and some CDs. There's some copies of The Gift of Life. There's the Sounds of the Underground, and I think there's even some Life Beyond Rap copies there, man. Just for any listeners, you'd have to run any competitions. Maybe whoever rings in, whoever can get those.
Listeners, we gotta challenge these listeners, man. Let's give them a question. Let's give them something.
Okay. If I'm giving a question, I'm going to give something hard that I do know the answer to, and they will have to go and listen to the track. But I have a track called Movie Drome. Whoever can name how many movies are in Movie Drome, or the closest to how many movies are in Movie Drome, you know, they can get a bundle. They can get one of each of the albums, man.
Wicked.
You know what I'm saying?
Wicked. That's so you need to dig out that track. Even purchase the album on iTunes and study that, man. And on our show tomorrow, we'll actually play that track. And so, you know, if you don't grab it tonight, make sure you listen to the show tomorrow, man. And once again, we want to thank our special guest in the building, an actual, like, living, breathing UK hip-hop legend. And, you know, that's one word we don't throw out lightly. Definitely an inspiration to me as well. And thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thanks for having me, man. And big shouts out to the whole UK scene, you know what I'm saying? Stay positive. I just want to shout out Bad Habits, Split Profits crew, Neil, who brought me here, Gary, DJ Napa, you know what I'm saying, HFM, connoisseurs of hip-hop, you know what I'm saying, Chester P, all those people that are inspirational, keep doing what you're doing, you know what I'm saying, and hopefully you're going to still hear a lot more from Life MC.
Wicked, man. Okay.
Right,
once again, I want to shout out everybody that's locked in live, shout out all the heads on the Mixcloud and the Soundcloud. And another fantastic show, man. So once again, it's your boy Scandoos, the Hip Hop Original, alongside DJ
Tomfoolery Beats.
We're the connoisseurs of hip hop, and we'll catch you tomorrow, man. Peace.
Peace.
Attack, ballistic, expert, rhyme ferocious. Listen to the words, I speak neither weak or atrocious. My vocals have the power to split the seas like Moses. More explosive than any weapon reused by soldiers. Live by the street code and my flows could never be decoded. High caliber in the zone, unleashing lethal doses. The wordplay I process, so check the progress. High standard, top notch quality and no less. Musically I take it to a place where you feel no stress. Usually I'll get deep speaking till I've got no breath. Life I drop rhymes that are impossibly tight. Attracting good natured souls with a positive light. I see the world around me with a clear optical sight. No response for the hype, I live a real responsible life. Self-believe's what I've achieved, so I'm the confident type. You have to acknowledge the knowledge in the songs that I write. Gladiator hip-hop poetry, that's what I recite. It's obvious, right? When I'm rocking the mic, there's no stopping the light. Feed the brain inside your cranium, lots of insight. In fact, I don't just rock it, I demolish the mic.
This era, I maintain to keep it straight. With the mic, I'm a lyrical Judas Straight. But this era, I maintain to keep it straight. The first to burst the heat, clown, universal beat down. This era, I maintain to keep it straight. With the mic, I'm a lyrical Judas Straight. But this era, I maintain to keep it straight. The first to burst the heat, clown, universal beat down.
See on the mic, my vibe is eternal niceness. Like Omar in the 80s and 90s, there's nothing like this. You hear it when the light spits, the content is priceless. But danger warning MCs at home, don't ever try this. News flash, new flows, new lyrics, new tracks. Showing you cats, I'm a veteran on the new jack. Ain't fucking like Tupac, I'm educated, there's no debating. I'm still more wavy than greased hair in a do-rag. Spit with a naked tongue and two fully inflated lungs. Over the pace of drums, rhythm's what I was raised upon. You've heard of Mother Nature, so life I be one of nature's sons. Serious, no clowning around, cause this ain't naked gun. Kids looking up at me squinting like when you face the sun. How old is he now? This guy's had such an amazing run. Keeping the art form of rap alive is what I'm based upon. All about the music, more than fame, swag or making fun. Spoken words of truth like Lauryn Hill in her present state. Demonstrate writing a verse while life I meditate. A focused mind's a powerful one. My thoughts they generate amplified sounds from the underground at a heavyweight.
This era, I maintain to keep it straight. With the mic, I'm a lyrical Judas Straight. But this era, I maintain to keep it straight. The first to burst the heat, clown, universal beat down. This era, I maintain to keep it straight. With the mic, I'm a lyrical Judas.
Check this out, son.
Mobb Deep marked their 20th anniversary with a special